Next question. What were the main aspect in the declaration of the British Queen? In the 1858, the Queen Elizabeth declared and some aspects. What are that aspects? What was there in that declaration? Answer is the agreement entered by the company, in the sense British East India Company, with the local kings were accepted. Whatever the agreements the Indian kings and the companies was they made, no, all that agreements was accepted. That is the first declaration in that 1857 declaration. The second one is there, non-pursuance of the regional comparisons. Means Britishers, they are not going to entering in the religious matters of the Indians. That assurance they are, okay, in that declaration they have mentioned. They are not going to involving the Indian religious matters. Providing a stable government for the Indians, because stable government was not there. British East India Company was there, they are ruling, and their power is also comes to an end in the 1857 revolt, after this 1857 revolt. But now, so this 1858, the Queen Elizabeth, she, okay, in her declaration, she, okay, giving the guarantee that providing a stable government to the Indians and equality before the law. Before that, for the same commitment, for the same crime, suppose the Indians means for them a punishment was differ, and for the Britishers done a same mistake means the punishment was differ. Right, no? So because of even that is also become the one of the reasons for the Indians why they got the anger in the British East India Company. Now in that declaration, okay, the Queen Elizabeth declared that one, equality before the law. Now there is no any Indian or the Britishers. If both of them done a same okay, now crime means, so both used to get the same punishment only. That is what you call as a equality before the law. Next, non-interference of government in the religious issues of the India and the practicing the religious tolerances. Okay, na? So Queen, British Queen in her declaration very clearly mentioned that, so Britishers, they are not going to interfering in the matters of the religious. And in their practices also, religious tolerance they will show. It means even they also respect all the Indian religious. They won't interfere in the Indian religious issues and in the religious practices also. So these are all the guarantees mentioned in the declaration of 1857 by the British Queen. This is also 3 marks question. Next question. What were the political reasons for the post-war of Indian independence? I told you there were 6 reasons are there. Now the question is, what were the political reasons for the post-war of Indian independence? All 6 reasons you should know, students. All 6 reasons you should know. In that, any 2 or 3 reasons they ask. That is the important question also. That's why we don't know which 3 points or which 3 reasons they will ask. That's why we should know, right now, all the 6 reasons also. Earlier we discussed the economic reasons. Now they are asking the political reasons that led to the post-war of Indian independence. Let's see the answer. Due to the doctrine of lapse implemented by the Britishers, many Indian kings had to lose their kingdom. Because of the doctrine of lapse which is introduced by the Britishers, many Indian kings, they lost their kingships only or kingdom only. As a result of the policy, Satara, Jaipur, Jhansi, Udaipur and many other states became a part of the British Emperor, like Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai. When she adopted the one son, for that Britishers they opposed. Because of that, Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai declared a war on the Britishers, but she is not got the success in that revolt, and she died in that war itself. Right now, after that, after her death, so this Jhansi, the kingdom fell in the hands of the Britishers. Right now, like this, because of the doctrine of lapse, so Satara, Jhansi, Jaipur, Udaipur and many other states also became a part of the British kingdom. Dalhousie abolished the kingships of the Tanjavur and the Carnatic Nawabs. Dalhousie abolished the South Indian rulers, especially Tanjavur and Carnatic Nawabs was there, no, for their kingships abolished. For them they are given the function, and they made him to sit in one corner, and all the kingdoms, even these also, South Indian kingdoms also become the part of the British Empire. And next point, the British dethroned the Mughal kings. British, they dethroned the Mughal kings and many other kings. Before the Britishers they entered to India, Mughals, they are ruling from the Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Right now, the whole India they were ruling. Mughal kingdom that is extended from the Kanyakumari to Kashmir. But when the Britishers they entered, and slowly one by one, and they, because of their strategies and because of these techniques, they completely, the whole India became the part of the England, British Empire only. So during that time, the Britishers, they dethroned the Mughal kings and also many other kings. They are dethroning, and that kingdom they are so taking into their empire. And as a result, many soldiers, so depending on the other kings, became the unemployed, because in one kingdom, right now, many Indian soldiers was working as a, working. Now, when the kingdom is become the part of the British Empire, so many soldiers, those who were working under the Indian rulers, they became the unemployed. See, these are all the political reasons for the 1857 revolt. Next question. What were the administrative reasons for the post-war of independence? What were the administrative reasons for the post-war of independence? Administrative causes. This you prepare a one flowchart, student. Right heading, causes for the 1857. Right now, causes for the 1857. Right? One is the administrative causes, economic causes, political causes, okay, next social religious causes and immediate causes. And that under that you write the point to point. Right now, which are the administrative causes, which are the economic causes, which are the military causes, which are the social religious causes, and which are the immediate cause. Because this is very, very important 3 marks question. Let's see the administrative causes or the reasons for this 1857 or the post-war of the Indian independence. First, administrative causes. The British brought a many civil and criminal laws into effect. Britishers, without taking the opinion of the Indian leaders, they introduced many civil and criminal laws. Many civil and criminal laws they introduce. That is the one which Indians are opposed. Next one. But in the implementation, there is a lot of partiality. See, bringing or implementing the civil and criminal law, it is not at all wrong. That is acceptable only. But in the implementation, there was lot of partiality was there. Lot of partialities they made it. They gave the more support to the Britishers, and they exploited the Indian people. So that is why Indian people, they opposed this, which Britishers introduced the civil and the criminal laws. Next, laws apply to Indians in a different manner. Suppose anyone mistake, the same mistake as done by the British person and the Indian person. Punishment should be same, right? No. According to this criminal and civil law, less punishment to the England person and more punishment to the Indian person. This shows inequality, right? No, that is why in the implementation there was a lot of partiality was there, and English became the language of the court. English became the language of the court. In India during that time, very less people are educated, and very less people they knew the English language. When English language became the language of the court, in the court many Indian people, they are part of they are coming to the court with their issues and all. In the court, only the English became the medium of the language. Only that conversation is going in the English. So what these uneducated people comes to know that, right? No, even this is also one of the reason. What is that? English become the language of the court. Next, the English judges gave the judgment in favor of the Englishers only. See, okay, that language they used English, that is fine. At least, ultimately, when the judges giving the judgment, if they give the judgment in the favor of the justice, in the favor of the Indians, Indian people, they are obeying that. Indian people, they are accepting that. No, even in this also, judges also doing the partiality. What? All the judgments, they are giving in the favor of the Britishers only, not on the Indians. Right? No? That is. Next reason is, people did not like the new laws. What are the new laws British's government they introduced? So people did not like the new laws. What is that new laws? One is the civil law and criminal law, that is the one. And in that also the implementation, there was a lot of partiality. And the law which was applied, no, that is only to the Indians, not for the Britishers. And English became the language of the court, and English judges, they are giving the judgment in the favor of the England. So all the laws are not accepted by the Indians. The Indians are all, they opposed this all. Next question. Why did Mangal Pandey shot dead the British officer? Why? Why did the Mangal Pandey he shot dead the British officer? There is a question. Let's see the answer. When the soldiers were directed to load the bullets into the gun, British officers, they ordered to they gave the directions to the Indian soldiers, take that bullets and bite that bullets and load that bullet into the rifle. Which is that rifle? Royal Enfield rifle. That time, you know that one, there is also one rumor has spread that bullets are smeared with the fat of cow and pig. So, Indian people, the Indian soldiers, they refused to do that. When the Indian soldiers was directed to load the bullets into the gun by chewing off and part of that bullet, right? Now one part they need to bite it and then they have to insert that. When the British opposed, they gave the directions to the Indian soldiers. Indian soldiers, they opposed that. They said, no, we are not going to bite it and we are not going to insert that. Why? Means because the rumor has spread that The bullet has smeared that the fat of the cow and the pig, and whereas the cow is a sacred animal to the Indians and the pig the hatred animal of the Muslims. So the Indian soldiers as well as the Muslim soldiers, they refused to bite it and load that into the rifle. So that time the soldiers of the Barakpur, right, no, they revolted against the British officer. Why means? Because the British officer, he got anger the reply which the British, Indian soldiers they gave. Right, no, when the Indian soldiers, when they refused to bite it and load into the rifle, the British officer got anger and he ordered for the open fire on the Indian soldiers. General Dyer, the name of the officer is the General Dyer. When the General Dyer gave a direction to the other British soldiers to open fire on the Indian soldiers, the soldiers of the Barakpur, in that the soldiers in the Barakpur, they revolted against the British officers, and a soldier named a Mangal Pandey, he took his rifle and shot at the British officer General Dyer. This is what the courage of the Mangal Pandey. In front of many British soldiers, he took his rifle and shot at the British officer. Right now, this is how the Mangal Pandey shot at the British officer. So you should know, students. So this is also a immediate cause for the 1857 revolt, and how the Mangal Pandey is shot dead, and why means because of this reason only. Going to the next question. Explain the spread of 1857 mutiny. Explain the spread of the 1857 mutiny. How? The 1857, the mutiny, it spread into the other parts of the India also. See here, for every war, student, the three stages will be there. One is their reason. Without the reason, war and any other fights, it won't take place. Reasons will be there. Right now, reason, then it is called as a course. Course means starting to ending. Starting of the war to ending of the war. That between is there, no, that is called as a course. And result. Result. Three steps will be there for every war. Reasons, we have discussed that. One is their administrative causes, political causes, economical causes, social religious causes, military causes, and immediate cause. There all the causes are there. After that causes, when the immediate cause, after the immediate causes, how this revolt spread into the other parts of the India? That is the question now. Let's see the answer. Meerut was a major British military base. Meerut was a major British military base, and the Indian soldiers stationed here refused to use the bullets of the new guns. Many soldiers was arrested and led the mutiny in the Meerut also. When the rumor has spread that Mangal Pandey shot at the British officer General Dyer, when that movement has spread into other parts also, especially in the Meerut, that is a strong British military base that is. And the news has spread to that the Meerut based Indian soldiers also, and even here also the British officers, they ordered to the Indian people to use the new rifle called as the Royal Enfield. Even here also Indian soldiers were refused. They said, no, we are not going to use this. Right now, so this is how the revolt has spread into the Meerut, and what is the reaction of the Indian soldiers there. Next point is, the soldiers burst into the prison and released the imprisoned soldiers. In the many prisons, Britishers, they arrested the Indian soldiers and imprisoned in the jails. Now these Indian soldiers who started the revolts, they are entering into the jails where the Indian prison, right now Indian people, they are prisoned, no? So they are going there and breaking the prisons and they are releasing the imprisoned Indian soldiers. Next point. A group of the soldiers reached the Delhi from the Meerut. One more. One group of the soldiers, what they did, Delhi chal, right? No, they marched to the Delhi from the Meerut, and there they appointed the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah II, Bahadur Shah II as the emperor of our country. Next point. They enter into the Red Fort and declared that Red Fort. They enter into the Red Fort from right now. Actually, they started marching from the Meerut. And they enter into the Red Fort, and in the Red Fort they declared that the Mughal King Bahadur Shah II as the Emperor of India once again. This is how the courage the Indian soldiers they showed into the Britishers. Due to the various reasons, the protesting soldiers reached to the Delhi, and the protest became intensified. This spread like a wildfire into Delhi, Kanpur, Jhansi, Meerut, like many important places in the North India. This spread like a fire, especially the Delhi, Kanpur, Jhansi, Meerut, started by the Barakpur. From the Barakpur, actually first it has started by the Barakpur, then Meerut, then Kanpur, then Delhi. So right now this is how the revolt spread into the other parts of our country. Next question. Explain the role Rani Lakshmi Bai in the 1857 mutiny. Let's see the answer. Rani Lakshmi Bai was hanged by the doctrine of lapse policy, which is declared by the Britishers. When the Britishers, when they declared the doctrine of lapse, according to the doctrine of lapse, if any Indian ruler, if they doesn't have the natural heir, or in the sense